Hello and welcome in. I am MissKinghorn and we are back here with another Sims 4 speed build, and yes, we are building a castle. Now, I've cut lots of this out. I feel like I have to say that at the start of every video. I've cut bits out. So this was actually recorded before the castle kit came out, and the shell of the building was actually done before I really saw any of the pieces that we were getting. So anyone who has seen any of my criticism for that knows now that this was done pre-reveal of the items. So I was kind of flying blind on what we were actually getting, which is what made this so difficult and why it's taken a long time. Because a little heads up to anyone who hasn't seen my Twitch overview, I'm not happy. I don't particularly like the new kit, and it made building really difficult. And yeah, I'm not the biggest of fans of this pack and the items and stuff like that. It could have been done so much better. Anyway, back to this build. This actually is a real castle in the UK, and it is actually for sale at the moment. It's just outside Bath, in Somerset, so probably around about 3 hours away from where I am. I've not actually seen it in person. I have just seen the floor plan and all of like the estate agent's photos and stuff like that, which I have tried my very best to recreate, because I really wanted to do an actual castle and not something that I just kind of made up. So this really does exist. I have had to cut and change a few little things out because it didn't really make a lot of sense and it didn't fit on this lot. Now this lot is actually quite a big lot. I think it's a 50 by 40. So it's not that small and it's not that big, but it proved a bit of a challenge. And you'll sort of see the garden area isn't the biggest, and I end up going through quite a formal kind of rose garden for it, because that's really what would work. There is a fountain in the back, there is other bits and pieces, but mostly it's just roses. And here is the new castle kit. So I went through all of the colours and had a look, and I've loved the swatches. The swatches actually really work for me. So we use this sort of sandy kind of neutral stone in here, and then we actually mix it up a little bit with some of the like dirty kind of older looking ones in a few places here and there. And then the windows I'm okay with. I'm kind of like some are okay, some need a little bit more work and things like that with them. But yeah, this kit, it could have been so much better, but yeah. So this kit, if you're looking at this for an overview of whether to buy it, and by now you've already seen hundreds of them, honestly, if you want to build castles all the time, sure. If not, I really wouldn't bother. It's not the best. The items are a little bit, but yeah. Anyway, we are just doing the front windows. So like what I do normally, I just show you the front of the house. I do obviously do windows all the way through and all of that into here. But yeah, it is a bit of a beast of a castle, which, looking back now, I probably should have done a really smaller one to start off with. But no, I decided that we're going to go for the whole hog and we're going to do a full castle. And you're going to see it later on. There are all sorts of bits and pieces in here, including, I do believe it's like a 24-seater dining table, because, you know, anybody fancy a ballroom? yeah, we have one of them. But that's coming up later on, so sneak little peek for you into there. We're working here on the outside of the build, and just getting a few little bits and pieces in. And I've got to be fair, the front landscaping, I didn't really do too much with it. There's a few little plants, a couple of benches and stuff in, because I really didn't know what we were getting. I feel like I've said that a lot already so far, and we're only like 5 minutes in. But yeah, because we didn't know what I was doing, I built a big castle and then had difficulty kind of landscaping it and stuff, because it is flat as well, where I've seen lots of castles where they're on like hills or on the side of a mountain or things like that, and I just couldn't do that. So in the end we kind of went for a flat one here. But this is a nice entrance foyer that we've just done there. Lots of marble coming into here as well. And then this room is actually going to be a throne room. Because why not, right? Like, you know, why not? When do we ever get one of them in here? And I'm probably never going to build another one of these. So I was using a lot of inspiration from real castles all over the world, and we came up with a lot of them have like these rooms just for like arriving guests for like dinner parties and stuff. So there are no sort of living areas per se as what you would normally perceive as like with a TV, coffee table, clutter, that sort of thing. There isn't really any of that. There's kind of like these reception rooms where you would be like greeted, and you could have maybe like an audience with and stuff like that, because that's kind of the images that I had in that I was working off of. So I tried to make this as sort of realistic as possible. So yeah, we do have the 2 sort of large thrones that I don't think I've ever used from Get Famous, but they work in here really well, and that sort of style of sofas and stuff, it all kind of works together. We do use quite a bit of that into here as well. And then yeah, this room here, another bit of an odd room. It was kind of like a reception room followed by a reception room followed by another one. So this one is actually going to be a picture gallery, because, you know, why not? I think the inspiration I was taking was from like castles that are like open to the public. So they have like all the little artifacts out, and they have like walking tours that you can do throughout. That's kind of the inspiration, or where I was getting my inspiration from. Not necessarily castles that you live in, because how many people realistically live in a castle? I've got to be fair, not that many. So whether this can actually work as a museum, I don't know off the top of my head. I feel like it should be able to. We've got enough like artwork, we've got enough wall pieces and stuff, so it may well be that you change this out to be a museum in there rather than have it as an actual family home. Because I feel like you would spend more time in a museum like this than you would in a real home. They're more realistic, because these big buildings nowadays have to earn their keep. They have to be able to afford themselves. So opening up to the public is a good way of making sure that the house can be as financially sustainable as possible. Obviously, this is The Sims. That doesn't really matter. I can't remember how much it was off the top of my head, but I do believe it's something like 400,000 simoleons or something. So it's still not like £1 million build. I've got to think it might be one of my most expensive, but yeah. And then this here is the kitchen area that we had going on, and I end up actually kind of going for quite a modern kind of kitchen. Now, I did have inspiration for this, was from a very old castle, and it had like the big sort of square floors, and I do end up changing those out. But it was where it was kind of like in the basement for like the cooks and all of the chefs to make the food for them. Now, obviously, again, that's not really realistic in The Sims, but I did try to make this as kind of commercially viable as possible. So lots of bits and pieces where maybe you could open it up as a restaurant, something like that. Obviously, we don't have the restaurant pieces for this build, but that's kind of where I was getting my inspiration from. And yes, lots and lots and lots of clutter. It is a big kitchen, it is ridiculously huge, and I kind of just roll with it. And as I say, I did take this from the floor plan, so this is the real size of the kitchen in here. So I try my very best to make this as realistic into the photos and stuff like that as I can. Now, the build that I do take this in is actually run currently as a hotel in the UK, so there is that element to it, and I have had to change some pieces out because you don't really need a reception area. You really don't need a laundry, like an industrial sort of laundry room. So that has changed out, but yeah. Although there is actually a laundry in the room, but it is very small, and it is what was in a bedroom of the hotel. So I have done some bits and pieces that needed to be changed out. I hope you don't mind. I'm not building a recreation here. I am taking inspiration from multiple different sources, including places like Windsor Castle, Warwick Castle, just to name a few in there as well that I can remember off the top of my head. But there are lots of different places that I went to, and I had a look around, and obviously places that are open to the public tend to have a lot of photos taken in them, which is brilliant for when you're doing things like this in here. So we do also use out a lot of the modern, like the new kitchen kit as well. We do have the waffle maker, the mixer, and the pizzeria as well, all in here, because I kind of thought that this family that lives here have got loads of money, so they can afford all of like the modern technology and stuff that maybe the castle didn't originally have, and it would be like handmade, but then they've got appliances in that could do the job for them. And you will see when we come to the screenshots at the end, I do have a very posh family that live here, and I do have two members of sort of staff living with them. One is the chef and the other is the gardener, because as I said, I did do a lot in the garden with like the roses and stuff, and maybe that's what they're known for. Maybe they sell them, maybe they do all sorts of other bits and pieces, I don't know. But that's kind of what I went for, that they have a few people in just to do the odd little bit. So the food, the gardening, maybe they have also a cleaner, I don't know. You can live this and work with this family and this build as much as you possibly want. But yeah, we are coming up to the end of the kitchen in here. And yeah, I did try to look at getting ventilation in here, but it just didn't really work. And then these are the stones that I used on the flooring, which I absolutely love. The ones from, I think they're from the new For Rent pack. But yeah, they worked out really, really well for that. And I do get them in a few other places as well. And then welcome into the grand dining room. Yeah. This is a beast. Yeah. I mean, this castle wasn't big enough as it is that I just decided to add a grand ballroom to here. I do some sneaky stuff here where I actually use tool to copy and paste, because otherwise it would just be way too long individually placing everything. So you're going to see me work on one table in here, and that's basically all of the stuff that goes on the table. So it is fully decked out for you into here, and yeah, there are a few things that get changed as we go through into here as well. So I give up with that idea and I end up placing them here, and then we work out what I want everywhere and get everything sorted. But yeah, the wonders of tool. I don't think I would be able, well, I certainly would not be doing a table like this without it. So huge props to Twisted Mexi for that. if you don't know the mod or anything like that, do definitely go and check that out. It is amazing for doing stuff like this, and even some less bonkers things into there as well. But now that I've got these in, I can actually work from the other table as well. So yes, this is how your table should be set up. Yeah, lots of research went into this build, which again is another reason why it is so late, because yeah, realism is a thing that I like to do for my builds, and if I'm building a castle, well, I'm gonna make a realistic castle, I'm afraid. So yeah, that's what we end up doing into here. And I did research how to set a formal table with your glasses. There are a few things that are different, like the fact that we have the glasses are slightly different, because obviously we don't have wine glasses, we have juice glasses, and they are slightly different. And I've had to use other alternative products for them because they just don't exist in game. But I feel like you can let me off for some of those. I've tried my best into here. So now when it comes to sort of seating in here and getting food from the kitchen to the guest dining, there is a secret staircase that basically leads from just outside the kitchen to a little area that I built at the back here in what is the orangery. Now I'm afraid, because we don't want to be here forever, I have cut the orangery out, and all of the sort of staff areas downstairs and stuff, all of that has gone, I'm afraid, into there. Otherwise we would be here until tomorrow, and nobody really wants that. So we've jumped up to the bedrooms, but there is a secret staircase to go from the kitchen to the orangery, and then it's straight in through the doors into there. Now the orangery is actually just down, you can just about see it through the glass roof in there. There's lots of chairs, there's lots of sort of seating space. It's just another reception room that in the actual hotel is used as like the breakfast sort of living kind of area. Like it's a kind of an area for like multiple purposes. So it has like the breakfast room and the seating and all sorts of bits, which didn't really work when I had just done a grand ballroom dining room. So I decided to change it into a little bit of an orangery into there, and I think that works out pretty well. But this is the red bedroom up here. Now each of the different bedrooms has a different colour, and that's something that I think is pretty common in sort of castles and things like that, especially like in the UK. So this is the first one. Now each of them has its own ensuite bathroom, but again they didn't make it into the final cut. So this one actually has the front turret and the front sort of entranceway as the bathroom. You can just about see it in places in there. It has a nice bath, it has a shower, and all of the other bits and pieces that you need in there. And then this is the very top of the stairs, sort of in the hallway area, which is a little bit of a maze, I've got to be fair, but then that is pretty common for castles to have ridiculous sort of hallways that snake throughout the build. So yeah, that's what we went for into here. And then we have this weird little nook. We do actually have a little balcony that's just out onto the bottom here, and we end up placing these kind of bookshelves in here as a little bit of a library. There is a study office space upstairs, but it felt like we needed something along this wall. And if you notice, the ceiling or the roof trim was clipping through. I don't know what it is about round walls. The game just doesn't really like them, and it posed a really big problem because castles, round walls, turrets, yeah. So I ended up having to sort of hide it behind all these bookshelves a little bit more, which isn't ideal, but I think it kind of covers it up as much as I possibly could into here. But then here is another little seating area. There are lots of sort of seats and areas for you just to sort of sit and rest and maybe read a book and things like that in well. But trying to get some plants out and trying to get different pieces as well is actually really difficult when there isn't that many places that could work in here. So using this kind of doubled up orchid worked really well, especially because we had the two swatches and they work really well together. So we kind of have that mix of the two, I think it's like white and a yellowy colour, work in here really well. And then realising I need to change everything around so that I could get the door where I really wanted it into here, because otherwise this bedroom just did not work in here. And now the staircase you can just see on the top right there, that leads up to the study. We do that at the very end because yes, I forgot there was another floor. There is also a little bit of a roof terrace out here, mainly on the sort of main part of the castle. It has a flat roof. I don't actually show you because, yeah, again, timing wise, I placed down some sort of benches and just some, it's like a big rug that goes down there, and also the new kind of like leaning sort of seats. They're just sort of props, but I thought like maybe you come up there to stargaze, or just to have like some quiet time away from the hustle and bustle of the castle, things like that. It is only accessible via the office though, so you would need to go through the office to get up there, but I thought it was a nice little space. Whilst I've been jabbering away, we have been working on the grey bedroom. We're now onto the blue bedroom into here. So yeah, as I say, each bedroom has its own kind of distinctive colour theme. And I didn't really know at this point who was going to live here. I knew obviously they were going to be rich, they were going to be like a royal family or a dynasty of some sort, so I kind of had to just play it by ear when it came to the rooms. Now I didn't do too much clutter everywhere because, as I say, I didn't really know who lives there. The only room I kind of did clutter on, and I kind of wish I didn't now, is the next bedroom, which is the pink princess bedroom. I do kind of go over the top with this, with a little bit of clutter on the vanity in here. So yeah, this is the pink room. Yeah, they like pink and gold and stuff like that. Really, it came down to like the marble effects of the bathroom and what kind of bathrooms I wanted to put in here. That was really how I decided what bedrooms were going to go in here and what sort of style and stuff. So there you can see all of the clutter, and then it's really at this point that I go, well, I've done all of that. Do I put any more on the dresser? And it's like, no. So we just have that little area into there, and now this room, which is the main master bedroom in here, where you can definitely tell this is the main bedroom. This has a big ensuite and a big walk-in wardrobe as well. So this was a little bit more interesting and fun to do because I didn't really need any of the normal stuff you would get in a bedroom. So this actually has a platform in here that then comes up to the bed. It does make getting in a little bit tight, but I think it works. I have play tested it, and your sim can get into bed into here as well. And yeah, this one, we don't have the panel wallpaper in a darker blue. This is the only blue that we had for this dark paneling, so this is why we've kind of gone for a lighter kind of swatch in here. And then I've tried to lighten it up with some pink flowers on the bedside table as well into here, and then getting out some little candle lights into here as well. I tried to use kind of a mixture of candlelight and wall scones, as well as kind of like the little spotlights that I feel like go everywhere, just because nothing else really works when it comes to lighting in this game. So this is sort of the back section here, and I did think, oh, we could put a dresser in, but no, we have a walk-in wardrobe next door. So yeah, and then end up using the one, I think it's the one from the Get Famous again. We use the sort of chaise longue and then more thrones. I don't necessarily know why you would need all of this seating in this bedroom. I feel like maybe in my head I was thinking, well, they could come up here and just kind of lay on the sofa and relax. But then if you're going to do that, you might as well just lay on the bed. But anyway, it's done in here, and there's just a few little knickknacks, and then this is the office space, because we are very quickly running to the end of this video into here. So actually even the office has a little bathroom. That's why there were 9 bathrooms in this house and only 5 bedrooms, because they're all en suite, and then there are just extra bathrooms added somewhere, because if there's a turret or if there's a space for them, I just kind of threw a bathroom in there. I don't particularly like dead space, so yeah, we had to find a way to hide them, and bathrooms work into there. But we are quickly coming to the end of this video, as I say, so we shall leave this here. But if you have enjoyed this castle, then please give it a big thumbs up and comment down below, and you can also subscribe to me here over on YouTube or follow me on any social media. But until next time, bye everyone!